And it just gets funnier. Let's bring out the reason why we're all here tonight. Grace Helbig, Mamrie Hart, and Hannah Hart. Big round of applause.
What's up, Apple Store?
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
I would just love to know very quickly the backstory of this movie. How did it come to be?
Well, I was turning 30 when I started writing it, and I was having a blast embracing my age and, ready to have a party on my 30th. But a lot of people I knew didn't feel the same way. They weren't really celebrating it or going out of their way. They were silently dealing with all of their insecurities about turning 30. So that was kind of the jumping off place. And then Grace and I had recently we streamed a movie we used to do this thing called Home Buddies, and we watched Can't Hardly Wait. And we were like, party movies are so much fun.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them that deal with parties in high school, but we're 30 almost. We still have house parties and fun, so we wanted to create that feeling, but at a decade later.
Yep.
And you accomplished it, I feel like. Definitely. Absolutely. So Grace and Mamrie, both of you come from very strong improv backgrounds. And Hannah, I've been on set with you before, and you're very quick on your feet. Yeah, I know. How closely did you guys stick to the script throughout filming?
We stuck to the script exactly for the most part because Mamrie wrote the script and Mamrie would stand by the monitor and make sure none of her jokes got changed.
They're going off script.
I was there every second, every shot. Didn't matter if I was in it.
Yeah. But it's a great script, and there's very limited time when you're shooting a film, and there's a lot of other people involved, not just the three of us, and so any time wasted was affected. Everyone was affected by that, so we tried to be as professional as possible. There were a few moments where things got improvised, like there's a whole dance fight sequence that happens, and that was just in between two different shots that were getting set up, and everyone was there, all the extras, and we just rolled on this dance sequence, and it's like one of my favorite moments in the movie.
Yeah, no time was wasted, and that answers the second question. It was not real alcohol on set. We were completely sober the entire time, honestly.
So no real White Russians.
No, I was drinking warm soy milk with fake ice.
No.
For 17 days. Yeah.
Okay, so that's method for
Her
me.
bones are so strong now.
So strong.
Mamrie, this is the second feature you've written, and how has the writing process changed since Camp Takota?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I wrote a book in between. So I think from that, I was just really excited to write in script form and dialogue again. It's different this time around because in Camp Takota, it was mainly just the three of us in every scene of the movie. So juggling all the different storylines of this one and making sure that each one of them had their moment to shine, I think that was the big part. There was definitely a draft probably 9 months before we actually shot it where there were 4 characters and 4 whole storylines that didn't make it in because there's a limited amount of time, and if someone doesn't get their due, what's the point? Kill your darlings, as they say.
Wow.
That's a phrase. Relax.
Am I
But also, this time around, I feel like you got to do what you do best, which is write jokes. Like, Camp Takota was funny, but there was more sweet moments than, laugh out loud funny moments. And this, you just got to throw in joke, and it really shows. It's a laugh out loud movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I watched this movie at my desk at work, and I'm just sitting there with my headphones on cackling. And
Yay.
it wasn't a great office situation, but it was an enjoyable movie.
Awesome.
I want to know, so in the movie, Kate is very fixated on this letter that she gets in the mail.
Yeah.
This is not a spoiler, this is the plot. I promise. And it's all about, this is who I'm going to be when I turn 30. What did you guys think you were going to be when you grew up when you were kids?
Oh, we began this question a lot, and it's always so interesting to kind of try and reflect on the person you were when you were 16, let's say. For me, I genuinely thought when I was 16, I had such small aspirations. I was like, I'm gonna have a husband, and I was like, I'm gonna have a husband, Hannah. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Were you Mr. Burns when you were 16?
Yeah, I was just
Place the house.
just put it there. And kids. And I was like, and maybe I'll be a teacher, I was like, I just wanted to have a family and make sure I was happy and just really as simple as possible. So I fucked that one up. No, but yeah. And so I think that really, but those were my dreams at that moment. in time, regardless of whether or not they were rooted in like a deeply seated homophobia. But my
It
dream
just got rural.
but no, so now I never expected to be this person sitting here today, and I'm so happy to be this person that it's just such a pleasant surprise.
We're happy you're this person too.
Yeah,
thanks,
we're
man.
very pleasant.
Yeah, we're really happy.
If you had a husband and kids, I don't think we'd hang.
No. It'd be weird.
For me, I always wanted to do the performing, so I'm getting to do what I always dreamed about doing, but I'm getting to do it in a cooler way because we're kind of in charge of our own destiny and the way we've built up YouTube. YouTube's opened the doors that would be a lot harder to open if I was just auditioning. And so I feel like I'm getting to live my dream, but I'm lucid dreaming. And so I'm actually getting to control my dreams.
Wow.
That's the first time I've said that, and that was really good.
I think it was. I'm going to process that later. Okay. Wow. At 16, I didn't have real, tangible, concrete life goals. I mean, I knew that I wanted to move away from home at some point and not live in my parents' house. Okay. I love my parents very much, and their house is fine. But I wanted to move away, and I wanted to be creative. I didn't know exactly what. I didn't necessarily think I wanted to be a performer. I just knew I wanted to be creative. And then I just sort of tackled life a couple months at a time. I've never had a long-term plan, which has been really helpful because I think one of the hardest things, and it's a huge theme in Dirty 30, is managing your own expectations for yourself. So it's great to set goals, but it's also great to realize that if you don't achieve those goals, everything can still be okay.
Or that the goals change. I mean, we've talked about this before in the last week when we've been discussing the movie, and that we all have gotten this incredible boost and this incredible career lift from the internet. And when I was 16, the internet was AOL dial-up. And if someone called, you got bumped off. I'm old, y'all.
Yeah, she said in an interview earlier today that she didn't think that she'd be working on the net. And she said it unironically.
The net.
Yeah, no sarcasm, just authentically what she felt.
So that's what I'm saying. It's we couldn't even have guessed this would be our career because it didn't exist.
It's true, and as my friends and people in my age group turn 30, it's interesting to see those who are still pining after their teenage dreams and are actually unhappy in their current life because that life doesn't reflect what they thought it would be. And I always just think, what a waste. Instead of, yearning for something that you don't have, why don't you appreciate and try and focus on what you do have and be like, okay, I have this, this, and this, but maybe I want a more creative outlet. So with my resources, what can I do to have a more creative outlet? Instead of thinking, well, if I'm not literally Brad Pitt, then I am unhappy. But so many people think that way.
You would be a great career counselor, I feel like.
Yeah.
I want you to just, be my HR manager and help me out.
Good advice.
Now that I have you all here, I do want to roll a clip.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to a clip. I feel like that clip kind of gave a great intro to the characters. I want to talk about the characters really quickly. Is there a bit of Hannah and Grace within their characters?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, tell us more,
Yeah,
James
which
Lipton.
Sorry, I saw names like that, and I was like, oh, here we are, so fancy.
Actor.
Absolutely. I mean, Hannah's talked about it before. Tell them how you discovered how like your character you are.
When I first read the script, I was very surprised because my character Charlie, the main plot line that they follow is that they challenge a much larger person to a series of competitions throughout the night, and I was really surprised by that because I was like, oh, someone who's really competitive, that's not like me. Thanks so much, Mamrie, for giving me a role that's really going to stretch me as an actor. And she was like, what are you talking about? Because I guess that when I get drunk, I get a little competitive.
But also when you're sober. We literally were just doing an interview an hour ago, and we were playing Two Truths and a Lie, and you were winning, and the girl didn't acknowledge that, and you said, no, but I'm a point ahead.
It's not about competition. It's about accuracy. If Mamrie was a point ahead, I would say Mamrie is the one who is a point ahead. You know what I mean? It's accuracy. I just happen to often be winning.
All right.
And Grace's character, Evie, I feel like is a combination of her and me a little bit. because she just gets so excited to throw this party, and she is just the #1 cheerleader in fun times.
Yeah, she's way more, I think, extroverted than I am as a human being, so that's more like Mamrie. But I get excited about excitement and people having a good time and making sure people are having a good time. And so I think that's where Evie and I sort of get along. And also, like, Evie doesn't know how to pace herself at all, so that's also something, you know, I'm working on actively.
We're all changing. Speaking of those like nice lower thirds, how do you guys feel about having actor under your name?
I mean, I think it's super cool. For me, it's like, you know, I really have a huge respect for actors and that art form and that craft, because it's something that takes so much time, but then also so much vulnerability. I feel like people that are really, truly good at acting truly know themselves and how to tap into aspects of themselves that a lot of people don't even acknowledge exist.
Yeah, I feel like my title should say actor in progress. Like, I'm not fully there. I've done some acting, and I get excited to get better every time we have a new project. And I think that was really, I felt really proud of myself and everyone in this performance, because I think from Camp Takota, the movie that we made a couple years ago, it's a huge evolution for all of us and a huge like graduation of growth in that world.
I agree. I mean, I think the more you do it, the better you get at it, which is why, I mean, like, you guys, I saw from Electra Woman Diner Girl, it was like you had this whole project in between, and it was like another growth step in acting. And then when we got to set at Dirty 30, I was just like, I'm blown away by their choices. There's some subtlety in what Hannah does on certain lines. Like when she's just like, I get it, we're lying. Like all these little like moments in the movie where she's just like, just
Great.
that she adds that I think are so wonderful.
That's so nice.
She gave your Oscar speech right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So were there any other characters in the film that were kind of just taken from your real life?
From real life, not so much. I mean,
I think there's no one specifically in any of our real lives.
there's definitely archetypes. Like we
Yeah.
said, we wanted this to be modeled off a traditional like high school party movie
Yeah.
set in adulthood. So there's definitely the bitch played by
Right.
Anna Akana, who
Oh,
is,
she does such
just
a good
such
job.
a non-bitch off
Fantastic.
camera.
Oh,
Just
she's
such
so
a great
great.
human.
you know, you have your jock, you have your nerd that gets revenge. You have all those different archetypes that you'd have in any John Hughes Breakfast Club type of film, but what they would be doing in adulthood.
Yeah, because I think it's really easy to kind of, classify cliques in high school, and then you think that those lines dissolve when you're an adult, and not completely. There's still a lot of that's really present in adulthood.
But I will say that what I really love is that in those John Hughes movies, it's like the jock is still the jock, he's top of his game. But then in Dirty 30, you have what happens to that person, 12 years later after high school, which is something that the glory of Facebook shows us all. Like people that peak in high school, yikes, peak in high school. There's a lot of life after high school.
Too much, almost. Wow, that was dark. Sorry about that. So behind the scenes, you guys are all executive producers on this film, just like Camp Takota. Is that something that you guys are interested in doing more outside of Holy Trinity projects, or yeah?
Absolutely. I think we all want to develop things. None of us have vanity about our ideas. So I know every time we're going into a different project, be it writing it or from a producing aspect, we always go in with a matter of, we don't have to be in this. We just want to make sure it's the best it can be. Yeah. So we definitely want to develop more because being in charge of every aspect and on-screen, writing, producing, you're going to churn out less things. And personally, I think I speak for all of us, is I have too many ideas to execute every job.
Yeah. I think personally, like my agenda motivated by self-interest is that I just want to make more LGBT content, and I want to make stuff that where LGBT relationships or characters, the focus isn't their coming out story or isn't them realizing their sexuality or any of that stuff. It's just stories that are good stories. Oh, and this character happens to also be a gay person. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a real human being.
Yeah, just a person,
Which I think we accomplished in Dirty 30.
Dirty 30 does a great job,
Absolutely.
but no spoilers.
You guys are always putting out weekly content on YouTube. This movie,
This week has been a
of-
rough week for me, to be totally honest.
But Snapchat, Instagram stories, whatever's next. What was like, just focusing on one project and characters for, however long we filmed for.
There's no such thing as focusing on one project.
Okay.
The other things don't quit. So it's when, at any point in time, when people are like, oh, you're being slack on YouTube or whatnot, like when we were doing Hey USA, the first season, and we're traveling and we're getting off a day where we whitewater rafted for 8 hours and rock climbed and was on camera for 12 hours. I was getting calls that we needed this tomorrow, the script. And then also the first manuscript of my book was due in 7 days. So like at any point, you're spinning multiple plates. They just are released at different times.
And it's also just managing your own focus, being able to focus on one project for a certain period of time where your full attention is required, and then being able to shift your focus to the other projects that you have that are still all on burners. It's like cooking,
Yeah, which I'm not good at. But just so you know, Grace actually is pretty good at cooking.
I'm great at really repressing stress.
But I always really, one of the things I admire most about Grace is that you are, you do just as much as we do, and you have so much stuff going on, and yet you are the most consistent with your uploads. And I just respect that so much, because it's not that any of us are ever taking a break. None of us are ever being lazy. I wish there was this lackadaisical idea of myself that I'm not feeling like posting a video. No, it's just that we're so busy, and then somehow you do it.
Yeah, I think I am fueled by fear of letting people down.
I love guilt. Can I hate myself about this all day long? Sounds good.
Those sound like ingredients to success, I feel like. Guilt and not letting people down.
Yeah.
I want you guys to talk about the best parties you've ever been to or ever thrown, because this is pretty freaking good.
It's a
good
great
party.
Yeah. Mamrie's kind of master of party throwing.
Yeah. I'm good at a theme. I've thrown very good theme parties throughout my life, but also the key to throwing a good party is being the guest that has the most fun.
Yeah.
So if you're the host, you should also be having the most fun. And too many people, they get so wrapped up in, is it going to be perfect? Is everyone going to show up? Are we going to have a good time? Is everyone okay? That they themselves don't have a great time.
Yeah.
And it's a trickle-down effect. If the host is having fun, everyone else is having fun. Speaking of great parties, we had a premiere party 2 nights ago.
Woo. Dude.
It crushed.
It was
crushed,
amazing.
It crushed so hard that Mamrie missed her flight to New York City the next morning.
And then I got on the next flight in full makeup from the night before.
She did. I like to send Bitmojis, and Mamrie likes to send exactly her face.
I call them shitmojis.
Yeah, she refuses to download Bitmoji, so it's just her face doing something crazy.
It's just like a Miranda sings.
Yeah. No, but it was incredible. We had it was wonderful. Lionsgate threw an incredible premiere party, and I just hope that everybody had so much fun, because we had so many of other digital creators and our friends come out and support the movie, which was something that was so wonderful, because we know how busy they are.
Yeah, and they're also in the movie.
And even ones who weren't, like Colleen.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, is we have so many great, talented other content creators who are in the movie, and they're so good.
Yeah, they're so good.
Speaking of Lionsgate, what was it like having just that iconic opening at the beginning of your film? I feel like that's pretty freaking exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's super exciting to see a big logo that you're so familiar with. It's like dun, 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 or whatever their song is.
Yeah,
and you're just
it's like when you walk into a party with the most attractive person on earth, and you're like, this is who I'm with. Everyone, back up.
I'm so glad I get to make you feel that way.
Thank you, Mamrie, for being that for me.
It was just cold chills on cold chills. Like one of those moments on Tuesday, we had the premiere, and then when we walked into the party before everyone got there, and seeing that all the things you're thinking of, they come into fruition and they're executed, I started crying.
Oh, there was a man covered in Tostino's pizza rolls in the front, and Mamrie had to pause next to him to cry
start
about how
weeping.
beautiful it was at the party. It was a great moment.
Everything you ever wanted. Sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
I want to take us to the next clip, which gives us a little bit more insight into the characters' personalities.
Great.
Cool.
What happens next?
I know. Every time we watch anything from the movie, I'm like, I want to watch the movie.
The whole movie, please.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, it is released tomorrow on iTunes.
It's released tonight at midnight.
At midnight.
tonight at midnight.
Yeah.
So if you guys go home and you pre-order it and start downloading it now, it'll play directly at midnight. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
That sounded like our goth girl group. Tonight at midnight.
I love good coven, so. We're gonna take it to you. Oh, I just threw some water. We're gonna take it to you guys with some fan questions.
Hi, I'm nervous.
Hi. That's a beautiful name. Is that a family name?
God, we're nerds.
No, my name's Tatiana. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, baby!
Second off, I wanted to know, second of all, congratulations to all of you and all your projects that you've ever done. You all do very amazing. I followed you for a few years. It's been a great ride so far. I wanted to know, what do you say to people who tell you that you're wasting your time doing YouTube when you have all these other things going on and you're expanding your horizons and stuff like that? Like, what do you say to people who say, oh, you still do that YouTube thing? Like, or to people who say, oh, it's not a real job and things like that? Like, what do you say?
Show me the receipts. No, just kidding.
To people that think YouTube isn't a real job or wonder why we spend our time doing it, I feel just kind of embarrassed for them having that point of view, because to myself and for you guys, I believe it's really a special thing that we've stumbled into. It was truly a hobby, something that we all just authentically enjoyed, that happened to become a job, which is, the best thing you could ever ask for with a job, to be something you actually enjoy doing. That doesn't happen for everyone. So Hannah has this amazing quote that she said years and years ago on this panel that we were at, that, dance with the one that brought you. And if YouTube's the one that brought you to the dance, you'd be a real jerk to just start dancing with, like, ABC.
Yeah, and it's like, you dance with other people, but you always dance with the
Give
one
them
that
a spin.
Yeah, give them a spin around the block. But honestly, the thing is that it's still fun. It's still a hobby. It's fun to make videos. I love it every time. And I think that thinking of it like as my job, like when I really get in my head about obligation, like, oh my God, I have to post 2 videos a week, and I get all like in my head about it, I'm like, wait, you like to make videos, Hannah,
Right.
So that's when people are saying, like, why do you still do that? I'd be like, because I like it.
Hi, my name is Matt.
Hi, Matt. Great sneakers.
Why, thanks. And I've been a huge fan of you guys for so many years. Grace, even since the Grace and Michelle days.
Wow, vintage.
Right?
Wow.
Oh.
Just kidding.
A little bit. I just wanted to know if you guys had a favorite food or snack from craft services on the movie.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh,
At 11 a.m. every day was dip time. And he would create a new dip. Sometimes there were some different flavored hummuses.
Yep.
Sometimes there was mahamar, which is
We
Middle
fell in
Eastern.
love with this craft service guy at
much.
Camp Takota. And then when we found out that he would also be on the set for Dirty 30, it was like, oh, thank God.
yeah. And then, like, a week into shooting, he got a whiteboard, so he would write what the dips of the day were going to be on the whiteboard, so we had something to look forward to, because there were 2 dips, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Sorry,
It doesn't
we're very
take a lot
passionate.
for. We love dip.
We love
So
dips.
excited. Oh, so excited.
Oh, it was so good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
got it. Thanks.
What's the most memorable thing that's happened to you in New York? Like, what's your best New York City story?
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, we both lived here. I lived here 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was here 5.
I don't know if I have the best story, because there's so many memes that you make, and there's so many different versions of your life, and going from 22 to 30. But I think I'm just really proud. I moved here with a deflated air mattress and $400.
Wow.
And so I think the thing the biggest memory is like how insane I felt in an empty apartment with like 3 sweet potatoes to eat for the week.
Yeah.
And just like the pride of living here is difficult. Like it's a part-time job in and of itself. So you should be very proud that you've lasted 33 days.
Yeah.
And just to keep going, because you're gonna meet amazing people around you, and no one's gonna let you fall.
It's the most magical city, because so many things can happen here. As difficult as it is, it has such rewards too. So it's this balance. One of my favorite stories that Mamrie actually threw me a birthday party in New York, in Brooklyn, one year, because I hate throwing parties for myself. I get very anxious about it. And so she's like, I got you, like last minute. And so she threw it at this bar. But we were meeting at another bar first, and then walking over, and she came and she's like, she texted me like, I have your birthday gift with me. And she brought me, she had like it was one of the green screens that folds up into that circle, and she had wrapped it up, and then she wrote diaphragm on
Dental dam.
Oh, dental dam. This is how deeply I've oppressed it. And she gave it to me at the first bar, so I had to carry it through Brooklyn
Giant
to my
dental
birthday
dam.
party, and then set it in the back where everything.
Like I full on made a packaging. It was a dental dam this big.
Yeah, it was really great. So like memories like that can happen here.
Oh, I'm excited
Yeah.
for New York City then.
Yeah, concrete jungle.
Hi. I was just wondering, as a creator, how many ideas do you have that just don't even make it to telling your friends about? Like, what's the ratio of things that don't even get started or created? Because, like, I want to create things, but sometimes I'm too intimidated to even begin.
Oh my God, like 9 to 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hey, which way?
Well, you think about things all the time. You're like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that'd be cool. I don't make that. Maybe everything that seems time consuming, I don't do. It's true. It's true. I get really intimidated about failing, and so it's like I can only do something as quickly as I can get it done. I'm like, can I get this done right now? Okay, so then I'm not scared and I don't stop, which is why I think I stumbled onto YouTube.
Says the girl who's written 2 books.
Well, I was gonna say except for writing, but then I studied writing like my whole life. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's like the way you feel about acting is the way I feel about writing. It's
Same. Yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
But it's also good to surround yourself with the people that can execute. Because Camp Takota wouldn't have happened had we not met Michael Goldfein, who is one of the executive producers on it and also on Dirty 30. Hannah had just met him in a general meeting, and then I met him in a general meeting, and Mamrie met him in a general meeting. And once she told him about a script for a camp movie that she had been working on, he immediately was like, okay, when are we doing it?
Yeah, block off 2 months this summer.
Yeah.
The script was not written. I had 20 pages of a script that had nothing to do with 3 friends. It was just about one woman. So I think there's a level of worrying it's going to take too long, but it's just starting it. It's just putting it down. And I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that you have zero embarrassment bouncing an idea off them.
Yeah.
And also people who will hold you accountable and be like, great, bitch, I want to see the treatment in 2 weeks.
Totally.
Like, show
Yeah.
it to me.
And if you have a lot of ideas, but you have trouble picking, like which one, you're like, oh man, like I have these 5 things, they all seem equally cool. Then don't make the challenge, being like, which of these is the best idea? Make the challenge, which of these can I think about for a week?
Yeah, I was going to say, some ideas seem great in the moment, and then 3 days later you completely forget about them, but there's always an idea that lingers that you're like, but that'd be really cool. And usually it lingers because you should do it in some way.
Yeah, just start it. It's like when you have so much laundry, dirty laundry, and you're just like, I gotta do laundry for like a week. And it's like, just do your laundry. It's gonna take 20 minutes. So just start, just get that first sentence down, and then it's no longer a thing that just exists in the ether. It's a project you're working on.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Juliana.
Hi, Juliana.
So first of all, happy birthday, Mamrie.
Thank you very much.
I love you all so much. You're so inspiring. And I just wanted to ask, from filming the movie, what have you learned about yourselves as actors and each other as sort of just people? And what has changed between what you've learned about yourselves from actors from Camp Takota and then up until Dirty 30?
Great question.
Wow. I would say the thing that I learned about myself as an actor is that I'm just so scared all the time. Like, I'm so insecure. Because it's like something I'm not confident about. And so it's like, I don't want to try different things. I don't want to trying to get comfortable with experimenting and because that's what good acting is, right? It's like bringing things to the role. But I'm so terrified of fucking up that I'm just like, blah, blah, blah.
No.
So Camp Takota, I literally was like, these are my lines.
No, you crushed it.
That's how I felt.
Well, no, that's how you feel. I'm not discounting your feelings whatsoever, but you hide it well. You act like you're confident.
Yeah.
So that's your greatest role.
Confidence is a lie.
acting.
It's a lie.
I've learned that the choices in I want to be more cognizant and watch playback more, which I'd never do, because even in my YouTube videos, I'll edit the video and just upload immediately. I don't like watching it back. It, for some reason, makes me embarrassed, and that's when mistakes happen. 20 minutes of black space just happens at the end of a video. constantly. And now it's charming, maybe, I don't know. But I don't watch playback a lot when I do stuff in the longer form content. And so the choices in my head that I think that I'm making that are big, when I watch the final product, I'm like, oh, that wasn't as bold as I thought in that moment I was making for that choice. And so I think it's really good to like force yourself to look at yourself, figure out what you want to change, and do it again. And don't be afraid to make those changes.
Yeah, you have to analyze even if you feel like it's going to make you cringe. You know, it's athletes have to watch playback to see what they need to do differently.
Right.
And I think it's the same with acting.
Yeah, it's like reading a second draft, or or getting notes. It's just like, okay, here you go, and you're like, look at the first ones. You're like, okay, okay. It's so scary.
I wanted to ask, was there anything that you took away from doing Camp Takota that you felt was like a learning experience? I don't want to use the word failure, but anything that was like, wow, we should never, ever do that again.
Never ever do that again.
You know, I will say one thing that I wanted to do. Camp Dakota was magical, and I'm so excited that our first movie was so insular and the three of us. But I knew from that we had so much fun when anyone visited set or was in for like a day player role. So I just feel like our energies, like we're so in sync with each other that we need people who are very different from us to bounce off of, which is why in Dirty 30 it was like, we need all different types of characters and all different YouTube, but also just traditional sketch comedy or audition for the role. We need variety around us, and I think it really brings out, you raise your bar when there's other dynamics around.
Yeah, I also think Camp Dakota was a very sweet film with a lot of heart, and because it's sweeter, the pacing's a little slower, so it's kind of like that film's like classical music, and this film's more like jock jams, which the pacing is, much quicker, and it's funnier, and it's, in your face, and it's joke, and character. There's moments where it slows down. Like jock jams always have that build up, and then the beat drops. So
you gotta catch your breath,
right? There's those sweet moments. So I was really excited once, we did Camp Dakota to try to do the thing that we love, which is comedy, just like pure comedy. Yeah.
I also learned to get the same crafty for dip day.
Yeah, dips, dough.
Oh my God, hi guys.
Hi.
I love you guys way too much, but anyway, happy birthday, Mamrie. Really random question about the movie. Did you guys take advantage of the set and throw a party without the cameras rolling and without soy milk, and because why not?
Wish, like, a person lives there.
Yeah. Like, that was a house that we rented, and the owner from time to time would just wander around set with his dog off leash, to the point that I had to ask them if they saw the man, because I thought it was a ghost just wandering around the pool with a dog. And I was like, no one else is stopping this man, and he somehow is here with a dog just wandering around.
That sounds like a ghost to me.
Well, then they were like, no, that's the owner. And he wasn't
Who died 40 years ago.
No!
Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to take advantage of this awesome, huge place. I think the closest it came was when we wrapped out. We shot there for 2 weeks, and then we went dark a week for Thanksgiving, and then shot all the scenes that aren't at the party, all the lead up and the scenes subsequent towards the end, which was very fun to go dark over Thanksgiving when you need to not look bigger a week later.
Oh,
she's got a crop top.
A crop top. And I was like, wait, we're coming back after Thanksgiving and continuing to shoot in the crop top? What? No.
I think the closest we came was the last night at the house when we knew we were getting a break. Just the camera crew just rolled in with like 2 coolers of beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it. But we had to sit on the steps, though. We couldn't even go in the house.
But that's why there's a difference between work and play. Work hard, play hard. It's like when you're working, you're working.
But that's why our premiere party was that much more fun, because we finally got the house party that we had wanted the whole time that we were shooting.
That premiere party.
Yeah, we
was
did.
awesome.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I think I still feel hungover from that premiere party. Like, I remember I saw Grace and Diane at the airport, and Grace was like, Mamrie, and I was like, I don't know, I've been calling her, because we were trying to get on the plane, and I was just like, I feel crazy. Like, I don't know where I am right now.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I went to a Q&A. We crashed the screening last night in New York. And when I got there, I had sleep lines from my jacket, like a Mike Tyson tattoo still on my face from the plane.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I want one last round of applause for these lovely ladies.